Hi, this is Paul from countrycraziness.com. This channel is all about post-frame construction, tractors, and homesteading. If you're interested in those kind of things, consider subscribing and joining in on the conversation. Now I gotta change my wardrobe. There are many costs associated with building a pole barn that go beyond just what you pay your builder. Let's talk about those now. Stay tuned. The most important thing that we're going to talk about today starts with the letter G. A lot of people have watched the video that I made on pole barn cost. I wanted to make a follow-up video because there are things that go beyond just what you pay your builder, and you should take into consideration when you're budgeting your project. First of all, there's two things that are recurring expenses that you need to think about. One is insurance and the other one is taxes. The first one is insurance. Just to show how big a problem opiate is in this society, it's costing me $1,400 a year in order to be able to insure my structure with full replacement coverage and all of the items inside of the barn that aren't covered under their own insurance policy. The second reoccurring expenses is taxes. Before you build your building, if you're concerned about taxes, check with your local tax authority and find out what the taxes are going to be for the footprint that you're planning to build. Stay tuned for what the letter G stands for because it's a very important consideration that you have to have when planning the budget for your barn. When we did our barn, we had two choices on the electric service. One was to take it overhead, and the other one was to take it underground. We were concerned that if we took it overhead, we'd have to put a hole through the soffit and possibly cause a warranty problem on the steel. So we decided to go underground. When we did that, we incurred the expense of having to trench out 60 feet to the utility pole that had the transformer on it and have a contractor come in and lay 3-inch conduit that 60 feet up to the meter box. And then after that, we had to pay $350 in order to be able to join the electric co-op. Once we got inside the barn, we needed the contractor to bring a scissor lift out in order to be able to get up to that 16-foot high ceiling and mount the fixtures and run the conduit in between. The next expense, oh, did you think what the G stands for yet? Stay tuned, it's coming up soon. The next thing that we had to account for was security. Our barn sits on a property where there's no residents right now, so it's especially important for us to make sure that we have as good a security as we can. And I encourage you to take a look at our video on pole barn security that you'll find in the playlist at the end of this video. And now the big one, the G word, gravel. You're going to need a lot of gravel when you build a barn. One of the things that your builder may not cover is how much gravel is going to go underneath the cement slab. And that oftentimes is because no one really knows how much gravel is going to be required. In our case, because it was such a wet year, we wanted to go down deeper in order to be able to establish as firm a base as we could. The other thing you need gravel for is a driveway that you're likely to have to build to get to your barn. So of all the things that I think that you have to think about, gravel is probably the one that's the most important because it's not the most obvious. Now, whenever you're building a structure like this, take into account that you're going to need money for a lot of other things than just the pole barn. In other words, you may need a cultivator more than you need a cupola. I crack myself up.